Hi, my name is Jose Montes and I'm the quality manager here at Campania International. Today we're going to demonstrate how to assemble a FT125 X3 fountain. Here are the components that we will use for this fountain. You have the water feature, our biggest piece, a basin. We also have a base that will go underneath the basin, our pump cover, and over here we also have our pump kit. The pump kit comes with the pump, obviously. We also have a different items that we will use to assemble the pump kit, a little bit of silicone, and two non-kink tubings that will be used for the copper tubing connections. Also, this fountain comes with decorations of birds, which are right here in front, and we will add at the end of our assembly. Now we have placed our first piece that usually will be against the wall, but for demonstration purposes we haven't done that. And once we have this leveled, we're going to assemble the base, which is FT125D. What's important about it is knowing how to put the base correctly. First, notice how it's leveled against the back of this hole in the water feature, and it should look like you should see the top edge, the long edge on the top of the piece, and then this narrower edge towards the bottom. People tend to place it in an L form, and that would be the incorrect way of placing this piece. You want to have this a wider space so that you can place your basing on top of it. All right. Now we get this one close to the base, and then you have a level surface that you can put your basing into, and that's what we're going to do next. Alright, now we have this piece centered here, and it's also leveled with the water feature, and we have installed our pump into the basin, and we're going to take the plug and make sure that it goes through this hole. Let's extend it out, and we're going to take a little bit of the silicone provided with the pump kit and apply it in the two copper tubings that we have. One comes out of the bottom of the water feature. We want to apply silicone around that tubing, making sure that none of it goes into the hole. Same thing we're going to do, but to the basin, the copper tubing protruding from the basin. Just apply generously over it and try to make sure that none of it goes into the hole of the tubing, because then it will obstruct the water. Once we have done that, now we're going to take the tubing and install it onto the copper, and we want to make sure that the clamp, the ear on the clamp, is facing backwards, just because we don't want it to obstruct when we're putting the basin into place. Now we made it real tight, hand tight. Watch the tubing here, keep it there. We're going to place the basin right on top of this base, and then install this tubing onto the copper on the basin. Now Eddie, put the basin up, leaving a little bit of space to connect the tubing in the back. Always take it as far as you can, and then once again make it tighten up the clamp. Alright, now that we have this two pieces tight, we're going to take the basin, get it closer slowly, and incline it a little bit in so that these knobs will go into the hole with ease. We push it in completely, and then we let it fall down onto the base. That should get it pretty tight there. You see a little bit of a gap. Just push it in a little more. And there you have it. Now this spacing is sitting inside the hole, the gap that the hole provides, and also it's sitting against that base right underneath of the water feature. Alright, now we got our pump here in the basin, and we're gonna take the tubing that has about 2 inches of clear tubing on the end, and that clear tubing goes on into the pump side. And again, we will use a clamp to make it tight, and then we'll use another clamp for the copper tubing end. Now this is inside the basin, so there is no need to put silicone on this copper tubing, but if you want to do that, you can. Also remember that with the application of silicone, you do want to make sure to leave it dry according to manufacturer's instructions. So now that we've put this in here, once again we want to make sure that the clamp is not on our way. We want to have everything fit into this gap that is provided. Then we take the tubing. It's always best to loop it, make a little loop with it, and then place it onto the tubing. And then take the clamp, get it tight in there. We have left enough extension cord, the plug, so that we can do any maintenance to the pump if we need to. Well, now it all fits really snug in there. Then we take our pump cover and put it right on top of these pieces. Now we're going to proceed with filling up the basin with water. Alright, now we have added the enough water to cover the pump, and we're going to turn it on. And don't forget that in your package you should be receiving also this little bird that should be placed on this corner. Just add some accents to the water fountain, and this one over here in the corner. And that completes your X3 Fountain FT125.